The Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
The Honest Edit Podcast. Unpacking the truth about life's messes, one honest conversation at a time. With your host, Scarlett, the no-fluff, get-it-done mindset coach, and Holli, your go-to for all things practical, balancing chaos with compassion.
Hi, y'all. This is Holli and Scarlett from The Honest Edit. Today we're going to be talking about organized chaos, how our lives are a work in progress.
And the reason why we're bringing this up is our clients kind of have this sort of thing that they always say, especially when they first meet us. And it's sort of this passing, oh, your house must be so perfect, or like magazine ready. And yes, when you walk in, I mean, they're all overall. But if you go open a door or a closet or a junk drawer, you might actually see it does some relatable circumstances.
It doesn't look necessarily like perfect Instagram post,
which annoys the crap out of us.
Yes.
Don't get us wrong, it's beautiful, but it's just not real life, or it's social media. It's fake.
Mm-hmm. I was having a conversation with my mom friends the other day about laundry, and they were all kind of down on themselves because the laundry piles and they haven't had time to fold, and the kids don't have matching socks and all the things. And so I took a video of my closet and my kids' closet and sent it to them so they knew that even the professional that does this for a living is not Instagram ready. There are days. There's stuff that's folded. There is stuff laying on the back of chairs. I go home after I get my kiddo in bed, my husband and I go to our room, which is the folding command center.
Mm-hmm.
Put everything out on the bed, fold. Sometimes it lives in the basket for a day or two, depending on what's going on. So I think some weeks are really good and I feel really productive and everything's cleaned up and tidy. And some weeks I'm just like, I don't have any more fucks to give this week, about this space.
And I think that's rolling into really what is the definition of organization. And I think that's so personal. It's like whatever is organized to you may not be what is organized to me, but it's really on how you feel in your space, whether that's work or home. And if you're walking in your space and you're feeling stressed out, and that automatically puts you in a bad mood or puts you in some sort of like, oh, I just don't want to be here, or this sucks, or whatever, and you can't focus on your task at hand or relaxing or whatever, then you're unorganized.
Right.
But maybe having that basket in your room is like the only task that you need to do, and that's okay if it sits there overnight and you get to it like the next day or whatever, right? So it's just kind of however you feel in your space.
Right.
And a lot of our clients have gotten to the point where they're just so overwhelmed, and it's a lot of task and it's a lot of work, and they don't know how to approach it.
Well, luckily for me, for most of my life, I grew up kind of with a hoarder dad situation. And so we had a lot of stuff everywhere. And I was always trying to get rid of stuff. And even today, my kid and husband get on to me because they're like, where did this go? And I was like, oh, I threw it away.
I will say we're all organized. As organizers, we're notorious for kind of like letting go and giving it to somebody else, but yeah.
I love purging and I love doing a declutter. And so I don't pick a day to do it. It's just like, oh, if I open the junk drawer and there's too much stuff in there, I will just sit there. For me,
like folding laundry. Yeah, it's just being intentional and mindful. Yeah, I could take 5 minutes and just kind of do this junk drawer.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great segue into just like maintenance in general. But yeah, it's just that just do it now. Like, why would you plan to do this on Saturday and make a mountain out of a molehill?
And so the just do it now doesn't live in my brain at 9:00 at night when I should just put the laundry away. It's more of like during the daylight hours. But I do that a lot. And then I feel so satisfied with that drawer or that thing being put away. And then it gives me the energy to keep going. And I think that's what differentiates us from our clients, is that we actually find a lot of joy with organizing. And I'm not saying that clients don't, but like, I get really excited when something has a new look and it transforms the space. It makes me feel better. And so, like we were talking about earlier, if you go into a space and it doesn't make you feel good, like you don't want to be there, you're overwhelmed, that is when you need help getting started.
And I think with you saying that as well, it kind of goes into a little bit of mindset work, and I love talking about mindset stuff. So, think about everything as tasking. Putting away the laundry is flippin' tasking. Putting away your purse when you walk in, it's tasking. Putting away like your kids' toys at the end of the day, that's freaking tasking. Clearing off your desk, which I do all the time. But I would prefer that pain in the moment than allowing things to pile up. And then all of a sudden I have a 6-hour project on Saturday when I could be doing something more productive, or I could be spending time with my family, or, it's usually date night for my husband and I on Saturdays. So I'd rather prepare for that or plan for it or whatever, right? So it's pick your pain.
Yeah.
100%. I would rather just do the whole
get it done
now instead of, I really did love the whole like when they came out, because I know the stupid trends that come out of social media and everybody like jumps on the bandwagon or whatever. But I really did like the whole put it down, put it away. I did like that because that's a pain point I will remind myself of and go, I'd rather deal with that chosen pain in the ass thing, really, than have a bigger project,
I'm laughing so much because last week kiddo was out of school and I took the week off and I was feeling really low energy, and we were getting things out for decoration and hosting. And so my office became the catch-all. There was so much stuff in there. And instead of me taking the time to put it up, because I was like, I don't feel like doing this right now. It literally took me all day on Monday and Tuesday to reorganize my office, get everything where it needed to go. And with that too, I was on calls and making labels and, doing other business stuff. And then that turned into reorganizing my office closet because then I was like, I have too much wrapping paper and now all the wrapping paper's out. And I went down the rabbit hole, but now I feel so much better now because all that stuff was in there and it was something that I needed to do, and it really pushed me to get it done and to actually have it working the way I need it to work because it wasn't super efficient. And so now after the 1 week of the stuff piling and then the 2-day project, and I'm doing this also in between clients and between dinner and kid and all the things. So it really does behoove you to do it in the moment if you can, and just taking a few minutes to get it done. But I feel that this time of year for me is what my spring cleaning would be, what needs to go. We start, getting deep in the attic with all the holiday.
It's amazing when you start shifting all that crap that you're going, I really do have too much holiday shit when I am just not needing all of this stuff. Well, I will say Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I don't feel like I have enough.
I've got pumpkins, I've got skulls, I've got spiders.
Everybody has their thing, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So for me, Christmas is pretty minimal. Every other holiday is in one bin.
Yeah.
So Halloween is just my thing.
It's fun.
You prioritize what your thing is. Kind of like in my closet, I have minimal blouses, shoes.
Yeah.
Somebody might walk in and go, wow, that's a bit much. But to me, I'm content with it. Yeah, I always see all my pretty shoes.
Makes me happy. So I was with a client the other day, and we have an ongoing maintenance for a playroom because she's got 2 littles. And, we've talked about before how the kids just come home with bags of crap all the time. Just junk, never ending. I used to put the junk that didn't go into a category into a box, and then we would go through it and, erasers and stamps and candy and stuff that they bring home from birthday parties and stuff. And now she's just throw it all away. And I'm like, yes.
I get it. I did, because honestly, that's a pain for my husband and I, because he wants to keep all my daughter's old artwork, and we kind of go back and forth. And I'm like, my daughter doesn't even remember 95% of the shit, nor is she gonna want it. Yeah. We're just gonna be dealing with it later. And that's exactly what the client and I were talking about. And she's like, I can't even believe I kept all this stuff. I'm just going to toss it now. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't even remember her doing this. She kept like 3 or 4 things out of that pile. And literally, I remember going through that exact same pile so many different times, and she really wanted to keep it. But it's like, as the kiddos get older, your priorities change. You know, you don't want to keep every little thing that they don't align on a piece of paper, and you're like, look at this, it's like a Picasso, and yeah, I keep it. And I'm going, yes, it's just a line, but that's cool. You know, everybody's got their thing.
Well, I feel like, so the Halloween stuff comes down, and Halloween goes up, and Halloween goes back up. And then it's the fall, like Thanksgiving, and then it's holiday. And so what she wanted to do was go ahead and take Christmas down, but then put Halloween back up. And so I'm like, well, but then next year you have to take Christmas down to get to Halloween, and you need Halloween first. So we reorganized that shelf in the closet. It's like one of those that live on the ceiling and that come down. So
we're trying, you know.
Yes,
yeah,
so cool.
Oh, I love those.
I know, they're great. They're like $200 on Amazon. You hire a handyman to put it in.
Yeah.
They're the best because you don't have all the tubs and the totes on the ground.
You know what? I forgot about that. And I'm glad you said that, because I have a client that needs something like that pretty quick.
So we reorganized up there so she can get to the holiday. She's a big holiday decorator, but she can get to the containers without having to pull down a year of holiday to get to one specific one, and then, you know, relabeled and made sure that everything was there. So that was really satisfying, because her Halloween stuff had been sitting down in the middle of the garage. And so that everything went back up, and it was perfect. It made, so you think about too, like whenever you're organizing, like when are you going to bring it out again? When do you need it again? Are you not going to need it for a year? Can it be put away into a different area? And especially like during the holidays where we know we're going through a bunch of stuff in those weeks, like you said, clients blur, but like I feel like holiday weeks blur to me. Like once Halloween hits, it's like, oh, it's neat.
It's a racetrack. You're moving it like Mach 10.
Yeah.
Because you're decorating for whatever it is you're doing personally. And then, you know, you're entertaining, and then family, and then whatever. But then we're also going out and we're holiday decorating from clients. Like I did decorations. I do too. But after my like 20th tree, I kind of get a lot of, I'm like, oh my, I gotta find needles in places I shouldn't be finding needles in, and I've got constant glitter all over me. Like I look like an ornament by the end of this.
Do you find that like you have to put your tree up before your home decorations up before you start decorating? For me, if I do a couple of those sessions, then I'm like, I don't want to put my tree up. I don't want to do my Christmas.
I typically don't want to put up Christmas stuff. It's really, I do it for my husband and my daughter because they love Christmas so much. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like bar humbug. I like Christmas.
Yeah. Before Jim and I had Max, we would travel every holiday because we were dual income, no kids. And we were like, we are in the prime of our life of going somewhere and not having to deal with any of the stuff. So we'd be on a beach somewhere. And then when I had Max, my friend actually gave us a tree. She's like, now that you have a kid, you must have a Christmas tree. And I'm like, huh? Now I had to figure out where to put this stuff. And so over the last 5 years, the Christmas box, there are lights now. It has grown. So I think you also have to find, you know, where it feels good in your energy for doing it. And if you pre-plan on that. And then take the time too. Once you're pulling stuff down, see what needs to be purged, see what's like, if it's broken, get rid of it.
Yes. And I'm very much like, you know, when you're decorating, you're like in the moment, you're putting on the Christmas music. I mean, for normal people, and let's get out the eggnog, and the family gets around, and we all decorate the Christmas tree and all the fun stuff, right? But I'm really pro, when you go to put it away, organize it. So if it doesn't make sense to you, like for me, I'm sort of focusing more on that and trying to make it fun for myself, because I'm having to haul everything down like the ladder of the attic, then the stairs, and I'm a control freak and I want to do it, even though my husband's always like, can I help you? And I'm going, oh, I got it. But then, you know, I'm like, I don't want to do it at all. But it's like, at least when you go to put it away after the holidays, that's your moment. Yeah. Your last moment, really, to decide, do I want to keep this for next year? did this work for me? Did I use this year? Do I really like this color anymore? Or can we like pitch it?
Right.
And just, revamp it before you put it away.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I like that because you're gonna waste more time in the back end with it. I mean, every week it seems like a busy week,
Mm-hmm.
And so really taking the intention of following your systems, doing your tasking, finding the balance of, yes, I fold the laundry. It's going to live in the basket tonight. I'll do it in the morning, or I'm going to do it right now, and not not stressing yourself out in already a stressed space.
But we talk about giving grace to yourself, but then at the same flip side, like in my coaching, I will tell, our clients, like, give yourself a grace. Like, it's okay if you get to that laundry basket, like you were saying, in the morning, but then at the same time, don't let it sit. And when something is about to get piled up. You know your house well enough to know that when you're just throwing crap in a corner, like that's building. And then at that point, you're going to have that 5-6 hour project.
Right.
I think you and I are a bit more intentional about it because we literally walk into spaces and we quote it. We know that this is going to take 4 hours to do. We know that this kitchen's going to take 12 hours to complete. You know what I mean? So we even have to think more about it because when I walk into my office, like you were saying about yours, which I do have a habit of, if we have a party, to throw everything into my closet that is out and deal with it later. So it does get overwhelming for me too, even in my office space. But to really say, okay, here's my benchmark. I can give myself the grace for a day or two or whatever, but then here's my benchmark of, this is starting to get a little bit much, and I need to take a few minutes, because even if my closet does get messy, I know where that benchmark is, and I can go in there and take less than an hour and revamp it.
Right.
And so it's just really knowing that sliding scale.
Yep.
Grace, benchmark.
And then if you've hit over the benchmark, you have to call them professionals.
That's here, like, us preferably.
But it is, I have a chuckle a lot because my mom girlfriends and even my single friends, they're like, oh, you're, come over and help me organize this drawer. Your house looks so great. And I'm like, well, there's still the behind the scenes. Like, it's not whatever the perfect is. It's not Instagram worthy. It's not, it's a balance of what works for our lifestyle. And so my office was stressing me out. And that's like the point of like, okay, I can't live like this. And again, we do this work all of the time. We're always out doing this work. And so sometimes I don't want to do it at my house. I want to go home and go to bed or hang out with my kid or take a hot bath by myself or play with a dog. And I don't want to do those things. And so I do set myself a benchmark. I'm like, okay, I'm going to let it go like this. And then, because giving yourself grace, I think grace is such a beautiful word. And I started saying that to myself when I got pregnant. And that's kind of been like my mantra of like, you're being productive, you're doing a lot, but also like, everything's not going to be where it lives all of the time. It's like we have a basket of crafts that we did over the holidays and over Thanksgiving, and it lives out because this is like our craft time. We do crafts for family members temporary. And so it's on the kitchen counter, and y'all know my kitchen counter is sacred, needs to be cleared off, but I'm letting that basket live there because it's also accessible for my friends or from the family. So yeah, it's everything's a work in progress. So it doesn't have to be perfect. We have to find another word than perfect.
Or balance. I don't like the word balance either. Everybody's always trying to balance work life and family life.
You're just living life. I mean, just don't be stressed out. Just have good energy in your space. Feel good about what you've accomplished and what you have. And, if there's a pile there, just put it in your brain of, I'm going to do this pile in the morning and get that knocked out. So
if you don't do the whole, don't put it down, put it away thing.
Put it away.
It's really just know your sliding scale.
Yeah.
Know your grace and know your benchmark. That's what I feel like it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is no freaking balance to life. I just find it humorous when people go, oh, I just want to find balance. And I go, I mean, yeah, I get it. That's like a perfect world.
Yeah.
But just do your sliding scale. Like what makes sense? Like when you start to feel stressed out about your space, do something about it.
Yeah.
When it's still a bit minimal and not when it gets to where it's truly too overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's literally just something you're intentional about and you're honest with yourself about and you're prioritizing the pain points. I'd rather just put this away now because I know things are starting to pile up and get the family involved.
Right.
Or if it's you by yourself, you're going to have a little bit more time. So just do it.
Yeah.
And you'll feel better.
Yeah. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Just know we're not perfect. It's always work in progress.
I feel like we're always saying that. I just feel like in our world, things feel like it has to be perfect. Everything has to be cohesive. Everything has to be great, beautiful labels. Everything has to be these really expensive bins or whatever. It doesn't have to be that way. It's really just all how you feel in your own space. If you have peace and you feel calm and you feel productive and efficient in your own space, then that's good enough.
Yeah.
That's great enough.
Yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to, And I feel like sometimes to kind of close this episode up, we have to remind ourselves of that too when we're at a client's house, that we want everything to be like meticulous and beautiful and that wow factor for clients. And we got to step back and go, no, it's really just how they feel when it's done.
Yes.
They could just take a deep breath. And that's the most important part.
It's going to work for their lifestyle.
Exactly. And it's easy to understand and it's easy to do with their own habits and how they live their life. And it's really what that's all about. So in our next episode, though, we're going to be talking about containers. Speaking of cohesive and pretty and all the expensive things, we have loads to say.
How many bins is too many bins?
Oh, yeah. Or what type of bins? Or what are you buying? Or
you're hitting the bins.
Sometimes the bins can become cluttery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that next time. We've got a whole lot of opinions on that.
Yes, we do. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.